Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Summit 8-Light Pendant. This is the 13-2045. It's also a really beautiful wall sconce that would go with this, so check it out if you get a chance. Let's get into the size of the fixture itself, and that's going to be independent of the rod that it's hanging from, or rods. It's going to be coming in at 16 inches high. Diameter on this is 31.2 in a nice circle. So the overall height, that's going to be the distance from the bottom of the fixture to the actual ceiling itself, including all the rods, or whatever rod you're using, is going to give you a pretty good range. So this can start off at 22.1 inches. So if you have the ceiling height for it, you can use this as a semi-flush. That's going to go all the way to 65.8. Now, this is also going to ship with 11 feet of wire, and so we know the fixture body itself is 16 inches high. That means I can get you almost to 12 feet just by ordering extra kits. So what's going to come with this to begin with are going to be, let's see, we've got 4 of these. This is a 12-inch. We've got 1 of these, which is a 6, and we've got 1 of these, which is a 3. When you order extra kits, it's actually going to be a little different. It's going to be 1 of the 12, 1 of the 6, 1 of the 3. So you basically need to figure out the overall height you're trying to achieve from the ceiling to the bottom of the fixture, and then we can kind of go from there. You can feel free to email us that information, and we can help you determine what kind of kits you need to get to where you need to be. Okay, let's talk about glass really quick on this. So you're going to have a couple of options on the pull down menu. It says choose your glass. You're going to have a frosted glass, and that's going to be the angular flat pieces of glass that are over each one of them. So you've got clear, which is going to be crystal clear, and when you order the crystal clear, there's going to be a frosted glass tube diffuser that's going to be going over this, so you're not going to be able to see it. Because remember, clear glass is clear glass. You're going to be able to see through it, you'll see the socket, but now it's going to be covered by that tube of frosted glass. If you order the opaque glass on this, you're not going to be getting the tube inside, because opaque is a frosted opaque is opaque, so you're not going to be able to see through it. You wouldn't need that piece. Okay, so that's it for that. Why don't we talk about canopy up in the ceiling? It's coming in at 6.5 inches in diameter. This is coming in at 28 pounds, so it's not very heavy. It just hangs from a normal junction box. But I want to show you a little bit more information about that, and how we're going to do it is we're going to look at the installations instructions right now. If you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over that side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations, instructions, PDF. Open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list of all the parts you're going to get with it. It's also going to show you that canopy and some really nice line drawings of the top of it and how it's going to go onto your junction box. You'll also notice this is slope ceiling adaptable already to 45 degrees. There will be a knuckle built at the top of the canopy, near the canopy, that's going to allow it to hang straight down if you have a 45. Good to know. Also, on that installation guide, the sheets are going to be a chart. So there's going to be a chart there. We also usually put it on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont. That chart is going to have all the overall heights that you can achieve by using different combinations of these rods. When you're putting this together, I would not put any glass on it till the very end once it's up. What I would do is probably find a blanket and put it on a table. I would put the bottom part that's going to have the sockets right there. I would determine from that chart what combinations of the rods I'm going to need, and then I would kind of go from there, and I would feed them through the little parts one by one. So I'd feed them through a connector, through a pipe, through a connector, through a pipe, and then basically you're just going to screw them together. Pipes have threading on the inside of each end, and then you're going to get a bunch of these little connectors that are threaded as well. So all you're going to do is, once you get it together, you're going to screw it together, those pipes, and it's going to be perfect. What's nice about this is the milling and the engineering is so good you can barely even see that there's a line there. It's a nice clean look going all the way up. Okay, so that takes care of that part. Let's talk about lamping on this. You're going to be using what's called a Type B chandelier socket, and that's our friend here. So these are the smaller sockets we grew up with. They're easy to find, these bulbs, everywhere. Dollar stores, drug stores, hardware stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those kind of places, Amazon if you really need to go there. The bulb you're going to be using is going to be this kind of shape. So it's either going to be a flame tip or it's going to be a torpedo. It's going to be one of these that can fit behind that glass. And when you get into incandescents, you can still use up to 60 watts in each of these if you want to go there. You don't necessarily have to do that, because a lot of you guys like LEDs, which I like too. So LEDs on this are going to be available in lots of different ways. And again, you can find them all over the place. They generally start off at a 40 watt equivalent, and they go up to a 60 watt. equivalent. I have found a 75-watt equivalent on Amazon. A customer of mine sent me a link to a 100-watt equivalent of this. So don't think you're not going to get a lot of light out of this. You can get a ton of light out of this fixture. And if you're doing hospitality, that would be the way to go. So when they're cleaning, like say in a dining room or a hotel like that, you can just crank these lights up and just flood that room with light. It's a good thing. But even the 60 watts equivalent are going to be great because you've got 8 of these sockets. So don't be afraid you're not going to have enough light. They're going to offer these LEDs to you in all kinds of different ways out in the world. They're going to offer them to you in 2700 Kelvin. That's kind of a super yellow light, which is more on the romantic side. That might be nice in a dining room situation. They're going to offer these to you in something called daylight. That's the one you have to be careful about because that is not like sunlight. It's not a warm light. That's going to be that bluish white hospital waiting room overcast day light. And that's going to be 4,000, 5,000 Kelvin on the Kelvin scale. What we use in our showroom, what we like, is warm white, soft white, and that's the light that's coming down on this desk right now. That is 3,000 Kelvin. So 3,000 Kelvin warm white, soft white, that's the light coming from this LED right there. So it's a really nice glow. It's kind of like an incandescent bulb. So that would be my thing to do. So I would probably go for 60-watt equivalents or even 40-watt equivalents LEDs on this, and I would go for a dimmable one. That's going to be pretty important, and a 3,000 Kelvin one. Tell your installer you're using dimmable LEDs. They'll want to know. Let's get into metal finishes now. If you are on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over in the red tabs with the pictures in them over there. You're going to see a Finishes Help Guide tab. Open that up for me. It's going to be a video there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton Forge finishes, how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be referencing a chart just down below. So scroll down a little bit. You're going to see a chart. You can click on that chart. So you can click on dark smoke. You can click on soft gold. Doesn't matter. Big page will pop up showing you lots of different things in that finish. You can go back to the chart and you'll notice there's letters A's on them, letter B's on some of those things, and that's going to be showing you this range of variants that you can expect to see on different translucent finishes, but I'll talk about all of that in the video, okay? Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. In those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.